It's generally thought that a parent's burden is passed on to their children, including all of the shame, the guilt, the repressed feelings, self-worth problems, self-worth limitations. All of the issues and internal issues and all sorts of limitations are passed on from a parent to their children. Regardless of your gender, you're probably gonna take issues and limitations and blockages and restraints from both of your parents, and you're gonna give it a masculine form or a masculine energy, and or a feminine form or a feminine energy, depending on who you are. And that happens at a very young age, which ensures that no matter how different we become, no matter what we do, no matter what self-growth journey we indulge in, we remain bound by a specific form of life. You're gonna give it a different form. It's not gonna be the same shameful experience. It's not gonna be the same repressed guilt or repressed feeling. It's not gonna be, but ultimately, you're gonna keep changing, giving it a different form, but ultimately, it serves the purpose of keeping your life at a specific level, of keeping you at a specific level, of giving the general outlook of your life a specific image. And so no matter how much different we feel we are from our parents, and we go on those journeys and we learn new things and we feel very different from our family, from our parents, and we change our personalities and we shed our skin, and we think that that's it, we're different, we're bound to have a very different life, we're drawing the path to a different life, yet it keep happening, it keep going the same way, and we find that we take the same hiccups, we face the same hiccups, and we're faced with similar situations our parents faced, if you think deeply. But the thing is, after you've gone through so much change, in order to notice how you're still carrying the burden of your parents, how you're still dealing with the self-worth of your family, with the self-worth of your parents, how you're still dealing with the guilt, the shame, because those are ancestral blockages. This is ancestral burden, and it's very hard and it's very elusive. You can't really get a grasp on it because you could keep growing within it. You could give it different forms. You could take a whole different life from which your parents took, but it's still gonna be there. The shame is gonna be in a different form. The guilt is a different form. The repressed feeling in within itself. The self-worth limitation is gonna show in different things, but it's still there because you're dealing with ancestral burden. You're carrying that burden because no one addressed it before you. No one faced it. No one healed through it. No one acknowledged that this is real, that they are dealing with this and eventually healing through it, moving on from it. And so, unless we do this, our life, your life is pretty much set in stone. You're gonna keep feeling different. You're gonna keep changing and shedding your skin, but ultimately you're gonna face the same issues your family faced. And this is only clear in lucid mindsets, in because normally you would think about it and you would feel that no, that's not real. I'm not dealing with those same limitations or blockages my parents did. I already overcame those. But then when at some point when you're very clear-minded, when you're very open-minded even as well, and you think about it and you feel something, you feel that there's something, and it could be the things that you are embarrassed your parents are doing. This is also a guideline, this is also a hint that you're still dealing with the same problem, with the same blockage. If you're feeling embarrassed about something your parents are doing, or that you feel that it's so outdated, or it's so, close-minded, or you get triggered by it in any way, it means chances are that you are still dealing with the same blockage and you did not yet move on from that, and it's still determining your life, because all of those blockages are ensuring, once they are passed on to you through your younger years, they ensure that your life take a specific course, not an image, not a very specific image. It could take any image, but it's the same course, It's the same frequency. It's about the same story. It's about the same frequency. It's about the same struggles, the same suffering, the same misery, the same failures, the same successes, the same joy, the same, stability perhaps, or instability, depending what it is. It gives you the same levels of almost everything. And that's how, there are gonna be some changes, because you did some changes, you did many changes, you still changed, and the change was real, and you've healed through some of the things. But the problem is with the things you think that are not there, and you're not acknowledging them, you're not addressing them, you think you've already moved on from them. And so even if you feel very different, even if you feel that you're completely different from your parents, there are still ancestral blockages that are moved on, that are passed on to you, and you're unaware of them. You're rather not unaware of them, but you're rather rejecting that you are carrying those burdens, those blockages, those limitations. And the power here, the power that changes everything, is the power of believing. I'm gonna be very honest, because I believed my way out of some of those blockages. I truly believed. But belief, as I'm speaking of now, is very different from what you think about believing. Because this was really believing, and there's no trigger happening, there's no provocation happening while you are believing. When you eventually believe, when you truly believe, it's not really provocative. It feels good, it feels true when you are believing, when you choose to, when you think about something and you realize that you're carrying that burden, and you are dealing with the same blockage, and you're dealing with the same blockages and limitations and obstacles on your journey that your parents dealt with, and they were unable to address healthily. Rather, they just buried it and moved on and coped with it, and thought that everything was going to be alright. And now you have to deal with it in order to not pass it to your children, in order to just improve yourself. If you even if you don't want children, even if you want to just improve your life, improve the quality, the level, the frequency of your life, because that's what it's all about. It ensures that you remain within the same frequency your parents had, even if it's taking a very different form, because life is now completely different than the life our family lived, our parents lived. And so believing, when you truly believe something, like think about a shame that you're carrying, a guilt, the repressed guilt, something, and you think, well, I'm dealing with this, it's not something I can tell anyone very proudly about. This is something that I'm repressing. I'm shameful. I feel shameful. It's something that I fear. The fears also, the traumas, But then reverse that in your mind. Change that, what it's called. Change that scenario. Change that narrative in your mind. Change the narrative. Once you change it, what happens? What I mean by changing it is say that, no, I'm no longer bound by this. I'm in this because I want to be in this. I'm dealing with those things because I want to deal with those things. Either this, or you remove the source of that guilt or that fear from your life. But the easier way is dealing with the things that are within you. Your perspective of things, your feeling towards things, your belief towards things. And that is that I'm no longer bound by this. Yes, I understand that. See how your family went through it. Your parents, either one of them, went through it, and how they have repressed it and rejected a part of themselves, and in doing so they actually passed on the trauma of that repressed feeling, guilt or shame, onto you. And see it, understand it, and then think, feel better than it, think higher than it. See yourself as someone who overcomes this, who's not bound by this, who's not really affected by this, who, even if this would, be you, be about you, if this would be something you're carrying, if this would be something within you, then it's completely fine, because you know yourself, you know your self-worth, you know your worth, you know what you really deserve, you know where you're really coming from, you know who you truly are, you know you're a higher frequency, you're an infinite, a manifestation of the infinite source of energy, of existence. And believe that you're better than that. Believe that you could do better than any of those limitations, any of those blockages. Believe that you are better, that you are doing it, that you're already doing it. Believe, but it has to be addressed. It has to be acknowledged and addressed. But believe that you are way over that. And keep believing. Keep telling yourself the real narrative, the truth, which that you are boundless, that you are limitless, that you cannot be bound by such, trivial matters, that just because it was passed on to you, it doesn't mean it has to affect you the rest of your life, that you can handle it and heal it, that you could be the one who shifts the trajectory of your life path, of your ancestral path, and make a new one, start a new one, build a new one for you and your for the rest of your lineage, perhaps. Say that this is stopping at me, that I'm not gonna carry this any longer, and believe it. But believe that I talk about, it's non-provocative. It does not trigger you. It does not feel like resistance. It does not feel like a lie. It feels true. And that comes from raising your self-worth, understanding your truth, understanding who you are, understanding that this reality is higher and purer than what you think, that it's not judging you for this, that it's not pinpointing the punishment towards you because you're dealing with this or that, or you're not doing this or that, or you're carrying whatever that burden is. It comes through understanding. It comes through love to yourself, acceptance of yourself. It comes through knowing who you truly are. In short, simply stated. But believing is a powerful tool when it comes to healing through ancestral blockages. Believing something different. Believing that you are different. Truly believing. Just because you might be living a shitty life, you might be living the same life your parents lived, believe that this is your choice, that this is by choice, that you are way better than any of this if you wanted to, that you're surely gonna make it. If you want something different, then believe that you will certainly make it. It's happening, it's already in the happening, and you're not bound by all of those things. You're not limited by this burden. You don't have to carry this burden. And once you truly believe that you're better than it, that you're above that thing, that you're higher, vibrating way higher than that thing, then whatever natural effects due to that cause, due to that burden you were carrying, whether it's an action, it's in thought, it's an emotion, it goes on, it moves on, it disappears once you believe different, once you believe higher. All subsequent actions and thoughts and emotions that has to do with this blockage, they disappear as well. And that's the power of believing. That's the power you have. That's how you can shift your life so effortlessly. But you have to really believe different. Believe about yourself different. Just keep on believing what you want to believe about yourself. Believe about yourself what you want your life to be. How the believe about yourself that the life you want your to be yours, the life you want to be drawn for you. That's what you believe about yourself, and only believe in that. Don't believe in all of the other narratives going on in your head, caused by all of this programmed burden, passed on blockages and limitations. Don't even entertain all of that. Believe what you want to believe about yourself and how you want your life to turn out. That's what you believe, and that's all that matters to you, and that's how you make it to wherever you're trying to make it to. Believe yourself out of ancestral blockages, believe yourself out of ancestral burdens, because it's very much doable. All you have to do is believe, see it happening, and see how it affects you, and notice the self-pity. Notice that there's always, self-depreciation associated with that shame or guilt, that you look at yourself badly when you think about this shame or guilt or fear. Notice that, and then believe that you're better than that. Believe that this is not true. Truly give it all of your belief. See yourself, feel good about it. Feel good about you being higher than that thing. Awaken the emotion of believing different than what is repressing you, than what's repressed within you, than what's limiting you. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video by AF's Conscious Frequency. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me so much, and it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it.